Now here's a wonderful family. It's mom and her 3 kids, and God, they're like in middle school or whatever, or maybe not even that. And what they did, the life really kicked them in the butt, and they wound up homeless. That's right, homeless. How many of us could think that this would happen to us? But it does happen to people and nice families like this. But what's interesting about them and what makes them superheroes in my life, is that they figured out the internet to be able to raise money and also help other people who may be homeless or whatever. Because they said, well, they were homeless. Man, the biggest problem was how they were treated at school and things like that. They didn't have nice lunch pails and things like little things. When kids are going to school, it becomes so important because the other kids make fun of them and all that kind of stuff. So it's a terrible situation, and for so many reasons. So after feeling this, they're trying to solve this problem single-handedly. A mom and 3 kids wants to solve the homeless problem and making a career out of doing this. And then they don't have a background, a PhD in how to start a nonprofit or anything. No, they're using capitalism even for that. And that's why capitalism has its faults, and we found that out in Wall Street. It doesn't solve every goddamn problem we have, and it creates some. But it's a system that we do have, and we can use it to also good. Other people use it to bad or whatever. It's just like your car. Some people use them for good, some people use them for bad. And so that's what a system is all about. But they're using the current system, and these are kids learning how to use the internet to raise money, to not only provide income from themselves, but to help homeless people and that kind of situation that is in so many cities nowadays. So that's why I think the new tools in our society give power to just normal folks, anybody, as the power now to change what they don't like. And I think that's what we are here for. We should see problems and then see how we could use the talents we have to fix those problems or try to make it easier or whatever it is. What is the world outside of you calling for you to do? It's not so much looking inside and what's going to make me the happiest person in the world. Well, the happiest person in the world probably is helping other people and looking at what the world is looking for help with, that they have the talents, that you have the talents, to help with, and that's what life is all about. At least I believe that now. I didn't years and years ago, but I really see it as now. So watch this interview, and gosh, we all could learn from these people. Okay, well, we got the family here that is saving the world for the homeless population in Los Angeles. And you guys say there's like 50,000 homeless people in Los Angeles right now, and you used to be 4 of them, right? That now you're no longer homeless, you and your family, but now you're trying to solve that problem because about a quarter of them, like 10,000 of them, are kids. And you say it's more devastating for kids to be homeless and going to school and not having a proper lunch pail and being made fun of and all that kind of. So you started SquissyFish.com that will help homeless people. .net. I'm sorry, SquissyFish.net. That's going to help solve this problem. And you're running a campaign on Indiegogo that you're looking for people to help you because they not only get one of your products, your Squishy Fix products, but a homeless person gets one too. Sort of like Tom's, you said, right?
Exactly. Exact same business model.
And then you're also contributing to, who are they called? Share or Path? Who?
Yes, Path, People Assisting the Homeless. They're very well known for housing permanently.
So that's really the way to solve the problem, getting permanent homes for people who don't have them so they can contribute more to the society. It must be devastating. God, when you're homeless, you must spend it's like camping or something. You spend your whole life just, cleaning and food and, no time to do anything else, let alone get a job or something, huh?
Yeah, when we were first homeless, we lived on Cherry Beach in Long Beach. And so we basically looked like a vacationing family. We were swimming during the day, picnicking, and, just during the evening, we'd go to Borders and look for work. So use their Wi-Fi to look for work. You know, it was a very
I
difficult time. Yeah. When
Wow.
we ran out of resources, we had to go to a shelter on Skid Row in downtown LA,
The
which
Union
is
Rescue Mission.
exactly,
Mhm.
and that's the homeless capital of Los Angeles. But we were
Wow.
there for a short period of time and just realized when we get back on our feet, we're going to need to do something to give back to the world and all the people that we, had helped us along the way. So we created Squishy Fish,
Wow.
and
That-
yes, you're
You,
right. We are
you guys,
fundraising on Indiegogo.
You and fundraising on Indiegogo, and but you guys were homeless almost for 2 years, right?
right?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. We stayed in the system for a couple of years because we were transitioning from shelter to shelter,
Right.
to be able to save enough to be able to live for a few years. And so when we did, we were actually able to rather than using other resources. And so it was quite an experience, but we learned a lot, and we want to help others who are still experiencing homelessness. So on Indiegogo, we are fundraising for the SHARE program that we developed, and SHARE stands for Someone Helping Another Reestablish.
I
So
see.
when you purchase one of our products, we give one to a homeless child, and then a portion of those profits actually go towards developing housing for homeless families.
So, what do you think is the biggest obstacle for homeless people? I mean, to get back on their feet.
I mean,
Yeah, it's really hard to get back on your feet. You
yeah,
actually need to be able to afford a security deposit and first and last month's rent. Plus, you have to have a job or some
right,
source of income. So Squishy Fish is a permanent solution because we'd like to build low income housing,
right.
or provide low income housing that people can afford until they get back on their feet.
So you're saying also earlier before we went on the air, you said it costs almost like $5,000 just to get, just a normal apartment.
It does. We have a
That's,
2-bedroom, 2-bath, and
yeah.
it costs us $1,500 a month.
Huh.
But the deposit, you need like $5,000 as a deposit for down payment, first month, last month, and everything. And man, that's a big. Yeah, if you had $15,000, if you had $5,000, you wouldn't be homeless.
Right.
Right. So we did have to save pretty vigorously.
Well, I think also what you're doing, man, you have 3 wonderful children there that you're teaching how to live in this society too. Like if you don't like it, man, you start changing it and doing something about it, right?
Right. Thank you so much for noticing
you.
that. They want to be an example for other children. Part of the component of our business is that they're motivational speakers, so they travel Southern
Wow.
California, activating other children to join the Squishy Fish Cruise mission and be a part of ending homelessness.
Yeah, well, that's terrific. I mean, that's the problem. Wherever you are in society, I feel, well, you see a problem in life now, and you say, well, let's solve it. And so you got 3 kids. This is a problem you solved because you were part of it. You realized it, and you just went on the internet and started doing it. And so that's an inspiration alone. Yeah.
Yeah, change your thoughts, change your whole world, and change the world.
Right, exactly. And what could be better? And now you have something more important almost to get up in the morning to do than thinking about the English test tomorrow, right, kids?
Right. Right, exactly. It's a lot
That's
more
a little
fun.
boring.
And this is what really life is about. So that's why you're very fortunate at this age to be doing something, contributing to society instead of reading about other people doing it. You can go out there as a kid, 11 years old and contribute yourself. But I mean, you kids are really doing something very important in life, and you don't have to wait to be a grown-up and graduated from college or whatever to do something important. You're doing something that's more important than half the college graduates, I would think.
Oh, thank you. That is exactly what they're doing, and we're absolutely blessed.
And it does, and that's what's so neat about the world today. I mean, you could be 11 years old now and just change the goddamn world because it's so screwed up. Somebody's got to do it. And if you kids don't do it, who's going to do it? The rest of us are too fat and happy to do it, yeah?
We've been fortunate to meet so many really great people who actually want to do something. You know.
That's wonderful. Oh, wonderful. Well, I hope more people realize that and go to squishyfish.net. Squishy, S-Q. See, I flunked English in college, guys. I got 2 New York Times bestsellers, but I still flunked English. SQUISHYFISH. See, that's for the people who don't know how to spell too much. .net. Okay, squishyfish.net. And it's the whole family trying to solve homeless in Los Angeles, and almost 60,000 people like that, 10,000 kids. We got to do something, man. I was just reading the other day. You don't realize you could be making $500,000 a year and still get like money to live on because you don't have a job. Why are we doing that? We don't have enough people to have a home. That's what we got to put resources to.
Yes.
Well, thank you for trying to educate the rest of us on this. It's an important problem, and I appreciate that you're there to do it. If the government isn't, at least we got somebody doing this thing, right?
Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you,
I really
Thank you,
appreciate your time.
guys.
See you guys. See you.
What surprises me in the last few years, I see the growth in farming. Right, and not for people in Iowa with 1,000 acres of growing corn or something like that. No, it's farming, smaller time farming, and young people are attracted to this. Man, I interview a lot of them now, and they said, God, they went out and got a degree and some liberal arts or something like that, and went and worked somewhere, and they just felt like a wage slave, behind a computer desk all day, and just like jail. And being out in the outdoors and seeing how things really work and grow and everything, but on a smaller scale. Like this next interview, there's a guy, young fella, just a couple years out of college, and I think his degree was in poli-science or something like that, political science, and he's studying how to grow rice in Maine. That's right, and he's raising money on the internet to build like an incubator, for different kinds of rice. There must be, different ways to do it. Given so much input, get certain output. And so you can just test different ways and have this incubator plot so we can learn how to grow the best rice in Maine and beat the Chinese at their own game. But it's fun for him. You see the enthusiasm. And he said, he takes a few weeks off in the winter, and it's just, a fun time being outside all day and working with his hands, and don't have to worry about going to the gym at night like most people do to get some exercise and seeing with the earth, seeing how stuff come out. My older boy is really into it. He was out in California, had a bunch of acres. He was doing this, and now he came home for a while and he turned half our backyard into a plot where he's growing fresh fruit and vegetables. Not only all that processed junk we get in the stores and the supermarket is lousy, you can grow it for next to nothing in your backyard, right? And share it. I mean, look at the growth of farmers markets that are now. I mean, they sort of like doubled in the last 5-10 years or whatever. And restaurants now want their own local farm. Everybody wants local food. They're not going to, food that travels across the country on a truck for 5 days or something like that, or from Brazil. They get local, fresh stuff. So that's where opportunities are now for people to enjoy life a little differently than being in one of these, cubicle jails that so many of us are living in nowadays. And actually, our county where I live have special money for young entrepreneurs that want to be in farming, young farmers. They give you free land even. I mean, it's just amazing what's going on. So, man, if you're not tuned into this, it's going to be tuning into you soon. So watch this video on how he's getting money to make rice patties in Maine. Okay, well, now Ben Rooney and wildfolkfarm.com, because you and your buddy are wild folk that are never going to shave again in your life, or
Gotta stay warm.
Just stay up there like mountain men. But looks like you want to be the rice, kings of America. That you're figuring out how you could grow rice in cold climate, cool climate, lousy climate.
Yeah, they've been doing it in northern Japan for centuries and actually all across a lot of the globe. And a lot of those practices aren't around anymore, but the seed's still there and some of the cultivation information is there. So yeah, we're kind of trying to borrow some ideas from different places across the planet and bring it to the Northeast.
But Marvin, to me, there's two things about it. One is that you started with using one of I think, the most incredible resources of the world was the federal government. You got seeds from the USDA, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the USDA they have 19,000 different varieties of rice.
No, 19,000. So you can go to the USDA and just, hey, let me try if I can grow some from those seeds. And they let you borrow seeds to grow stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty nice. Yeah, you can trial all sorts of different seeds. Yeah.
And did they help you with the process also through this or not?
No.
No, I see, right.
No, they gave me seeds and yeah, they didn't ask a lot of questions. And yeah, this season we're trying 30 different types of rice. Some
Wow.
red rice, some long rice, and
Mm.
yeah, they've sent it off to us, and yeah, it's been pretty hands off.
Yeah. So, but now you're trying to do it organically farming, this big agriculture, multi-business stuff, agribusiness stuff. But you're really using the local environment. I mean, look at your video. You're talking about you have these lovely ducks in your rice paddies, and you say they're more important to your rice than anything else.
Yeah, I think just learning from these ecosystems and how they produce food and resilience and strength, especially in changing times with climate ahead, that's what we need to look to for our food security. We need to look to see how we can emulate these ecosystems, and in our case, it's a wetland. And wetlands are some of the most productive ecosystems on the planet. So,
Wow.
what lives in wetlands? Oh, well, there's ducks that live in wetlands. All right, let's bring ducks in. And
I
there's
see.
some wet areas and dry areas. Okay, let's create some of that. And so we're just trying to basically create a wetland, but then also balance that with agriculture and being able to control some of the characteristics and grow rice in there.
So what you're trying to do is really show people how they can grow rice, in northern climates here in the United States. And you have like an incubator project you're running, fundraising for on Indiegogo, to help and actually you could even help people learn how to grow their own rice. My backyard, my son has a third of our yard, and we have a good sized yard already. Just in the last 2 weeks, he dug up the third of the yard that I don't have to get cut anymore and put it in all kind of these vegetables and everything. And he loves doing it. So I see more and more people. I'm thinking like people with older people live in their homes. Instead of cutting their lawns, they could grow stuff in their front lawns, right?
Yeah, and a lot of people have been growing vegetables and fruits, which is awesome, and we need to encourage that. But people should start growing some of their own grains. It's just as
Right.
powerful, and it tastes just as good. Eating some fresh rice that we just harvested, that we just cut down with a scythe, and
Wow.
it's just like eating a fresh tomato. It has all this body, it has this texture, it has this character. It's not just like this side piece of
Plastic
meal.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's terrific. So you see, I could have a back garden rice paddy, huh?
You could. What you want is clay soil. That's the one limiting
I
factor.
see.
But also, you said that people go to your website or whatever, wildfolkfarm.com, besides looking at your video about your fundraising campaign, but I mean, you can get tips there about how to do this in your backyard as an individual, or learn more about this sustainable economy that local people are now developing all over the country.
Yeah, there's definitely some growing information about what we've done with the rice and how it's worked. And I encourage people to get in touch with me if they have questions about growing it, and definitely keep checking in on us, seeing how we're doing either online or on site. And just as we
Well,
evolve
what's
and,
neat
and
about
learn
it, I mean,
about,
You have the video of all this going on in there. It's fun to see, like, young people really enjoying this stuff. You know, at least, you know, in my generation, you know, people on the farm, you know, we worked our ass to get off of that, you know, it seems. But now it's not only a healthy lifestyle, but a sustainable lifestyle, and get rid of a lot of the crap in life we probably don't need. And as you were saying, that you love the lifestyle of living on a farm, and your whole life is just doing this stuff and eating it and sharing it with everybody. Man, you know, that beats, you know, behind a computer screen somewhere for 8 hours a day and sitting in traffic being miserable.
yeah, I feel very fortunate that, yeah, this has all worked out, and yeah, we're able to spend so much time outside and learn from what's around us. Yeah.
Do your parents think this is a real job yet, or?
Yeah, and I like that. Yeah, I think it's becoming that slowly and surely, maybe.
Man, I think that's why, you know, sometimes our loved ones are our biggest enemies. You know, they say, "Oh, don't do that; you're going to fail." You know, and when you're doing something brand new, of course you are. I mean, that's what life is all about: experimenting and fail. And that's what's neat about you. I mean, you don't have a PhD in agroeconomics or anything like that. You're just a kid out of undergraduate school trying to figure this out, and anybody can, right?
Yeah, anyone can do it. It just takes a little bit of time, and definitely not being afraid to fail, because yeah, you make mistakes all the time.
Right. I mean, that's right. If you want to go out and play baseball, you wouldn't expect to get up the bat and hit a home run the first time, right?
Yeah,
So you
and
just
that's one
gotta-
of the reasons for us why this campaign and the fundraising is important, is because yeah, we are gonna fail some, and we're trying to create a replicable model that homesteaders, small growers, and farmers can all learn from, and it's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take some time to figure out what works best here, and the economics of starting a new crop in Maine aren't it's not too conducive to doing that. You know, people aren't normally, the economics are not in favor of small scale farms right now. So any help that we can get to try to bring this to the forefront so other people can do this economically in a viable way is going to be really important.
But it seems like your rice growing patties that you're building now with your fundraising campaign, you have a way to test different, you know, 12 different ways of growing this stuff, and have an incubator.
Try to design everything, or trying to design the system so that, yeah, we can have different inflows and outflows with the patties, and so we can grow some patties just with water, and you can kind of pulse the water, so you wet the patties some and dry the patties out some, and that's kind of similar to some ways that they grow it in India. So we can see how that works in the U.S. That's called SRI, System of Rice Intensification. In northern Japan, they do it with ducks and this nitrogen.
I like the ducks thing.
Yeah, and so we're going to try that out, and yeah, we can kind of compare all these things and see, okay, which ones actually are worth it for a farmer, which ones are worth it for a home scale grower, because some of our patties are small, so that a homestead, you know, so someone who wants to grow 50 or 60 pounds, they can see, oh, this is how we do this on a really small scale. This is how I do this on my backyard, which is just as important as getting commercial growers to be growing thousands of pounds of rice in a sustainable way.
All right. Well, okay, Ben. Well, we got to get people to go to Wild Folk Farm to help Ben educate America about how cool it is to grow rice in your backyard. You
Yeah.
don't have to go and get that Uncle Ben sack of rice that tastes like cardboard or whatever it is. Thank you so much, Ben. Take care.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, you want to play basketball with a 5-year-old? You'll win, right? All the time. Why do that? That's going to be boring life, isn't it? But we want to do that, yeah. And I think, jobs, traditional jobs that we all grew up in, well, at least I did, you get a job, you get a pension, retire, those days are over, you know. And because companies don't care about individuals like they used to, and nobody treats each other, so you might as well have your own. Now, no job is safe anymore. So if you have 3 customers doing something, that's safer than one boss who may not like you tomorrow morning, yeah. Or somebody from headquarters decides to sell the whole thing, and who knows where you are. So I mean, to me now, what's happening in our society, it lends more to all this, and like I sold millions and millions of books talking about grants in the government, and they're real, but this is so much better, like crowdfunding. I think as an entrepreneur of any kind, first of all, it costs nothing to try. And you just do it, put it on, and you fail. So what? That's the only way you're going to learn. It's like, it's like, well, I'm not going to learn how to walk unless I could run a 100-yard dash in 9 seconds or something. Nah, you put up your ass, try it, and fail, whatever. Who cares? I mean, things like that. You're looking for money. Okay, you're looking for money from investors. You're looking for money, crowdfunding. You're looking for money to the government or whatever. Crowdfunding, no credit checks. Nothing. Yeah, no matter what you're credited, I don't care. It's all about your idea and how you present it. So you could be in hock up to your keister or the sheriff after you or whatever. Doesn't matter. And that's why you're not going to find it like that anywhere. No income requirements. Whoa, they go to the bank for money, right? Whoa, how much money you got? Oh, you need money. Oh, no, we only give money people don't need it. You don't make enough for us to give you money. That's stupid, right? You need money. No, they don't care what income requirements. Okay, so and nobody telling you what to do. I don't know about you, but if you're an entrepreneur, want to do stuff, you want to do stuff because you don't like being told what to do, and you'd rather be doing yourself. And that's why any other relationship, they're telling you what to do. The banker, the investment advisor, or whatever it is. Also, you need no background or education on anything. It doesn't matter. I've interviewed, and if you go to here, how to turn ideas into dollars with no money. I've interviewed probably about 400 or 500 people who've gotten money. Everything from 12-year-olds who got like $30,000, $40,000 because they were playing on their computer doing something. I don't even know what the hell it was. Or this guy here, he was pumping gas one day, and he had an idea for something and went on, and now he's getting $1,000 a day through crowdfunding, doing that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter background. I talk to more and more people who have, no expertise in what they want to do. The expertise is out there. I mean, especially I have people that I work with all over the world, and they work for a fraction of what we work for. You need expertise like how to run a 3D printer or whatever. Man, someone write that code. Probably for $50 you could get that done, on the internet, on Guru or one of these places where you get help to do things like anything you want to do. Here, if you put an ad in the paper, someone's going to charge you $500, $5,000 to do that, because some big company will pay that. But you don't have to, if you know what to do. You don't need accountants, you don't need lawyers, you don't need grant writers, you need nothing, that you would for any of these other kind of ways that are traditional to get money. The downside is there is no downside. Because so what if you don't get it? You still don't have money now, right? So you're going to learn something from that process so that next time it'll be a little better. And you start learning about it. It's sort of like learning how to play football, basketball, tennis, or whatever. Sure, the first time up, you barely get the ball over the net or whatever. But man, the next time, that's all the way life works. Why is it? Why do we think we want to do one thing out of the gate and play for the Super Bowl next Sunday, No. That's right. It's a wonderful place to fail. And you get your money in 60 days, 30 sometimes. So you get money right away. It's just the way. And you get money before your customer has a product. Now, this is the most amazing thing. See, what you do is you go on I'm going to, see this big gulp? Well, I'm going to make a gargantuan gulp, or whatever the heck it is, twice as big or whatever. You don't have to have one. You just sort of have a picture of it or whatever you think. And if enough people say, hey, that's cool, I'll buy it. Here's, and you say, well, to start making my, first batch, I need $5,000, $10,000, whatever it is, And so you have a limit you get, and they all run a little differently. Some you have to have a limit and make it, some you don't, you just get whatever you have. And then the people just hope you send it. It's incredible, and that's what happened. Very few, if any, people really get screwed. And actually on the big, about anywhere from 50% or more of the people who are using this get what they're after. I mean, that's an incredible way. I mean, like applying for a grant, 20% is a lot. I mean, there's some grants that everyone who shows up, but that's different. It's a complicated answer. And so you get all the money. So it's like getting all the money, then you go make the money. That's what I used to do when I first started doing books. I used to not even have a book. I wanted to see if anybody would sell it, if anybody would buy it. I said, hey, I got this book, honest. This is before crowdfunding, and I go out and ad and everything, and then, oh yeah, and then I'd make it and sell it to them. And that's what, you can do this legitimately now instead of the way I used to do it. Also, what's neat, you get free publicity. See, if you go on one of these big crowdfunding sites, it's advertising what you're doing, what you're special at, what does this need? And then people are going to these sites now looking for new products, stores or outlets or people with internet sites to sell things. They come to these sites looking, so you get distributors. A lot of people I know go and do these crowdfunding projects. They don't care if they get the money or not, because they'll get contacts in the industry who sells this kind of stuff, distributors and stuff like that. And that's where the real money is. Get paid free publicity. And it also, to me, the greatest thing about this, it tells you if your idea is good or not. See, there's no other place, I think, that you could do a twofer. See, normally if you're looking for a venture or whatever to get money, you have to go get a fat cat or an investor or a bank or whatever it is. You have to convince them that you're really smart, and there's a market for this. They don't know, right? So they're going to get snowed by you or not, and believe in you or not, and that's what it is. But after you sell them, particularly, they're not your customer, so you don't even know if this sells yet. So you got a whole bunch of money, you go make it, and then hope it sells. Now that's the old school way of doing it, which is stupid, because then you have a garage full of this stuff. Like me, I got a lot of book titles sitting in the garage that I swear was going to be. And the publishers gave me a lot of money to print. Nobody bought it. I didn't care, I got my money. But they have it in their garages. But now you go out and, hey, you got customers. You got 300 people that want this. They gave you money already. You don't even have it yet. So not only do you have the money to make it happen, you are guaranteed there's a market for this. And you haven't invested a nickel. I mean, that's going to spur, I think, development in our country like nothing else. Because you'd have to do that in a year. Figure out how to get the money first, then figure out how to sell it, if somebody's going to buy it. Now it's a twofer. And so you lose, then you think of something else. So that's why I think we're going to grow so much faster as a company. And it's all over the world. It's not only here. This is what's going on over. I interview people all over the world, where it's Shanghai or the Netherlands, Russia, everyone's using this. This is where it's going on. And you can get money for any reason. It's not just entrepreneuring. You get it as a nonprofit, an invention, also just to live on. I talked to a guy on Kickstarter. He wanted to develop some stuff like games and give them away for free, and he raised $80,000 just to live for the year so he could keep doing what he wanted to do. There's another website called Patreon, P-A-T-R-E, Patreon, like the patron. And .com. They give out I interviewed the guy who runs their site about a year ago, and by the way, all this stuff is, is that what you're trying to tell me? Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, right. I see. Right. And I talked to them about a year ago when they first started, and they were just for artists. You're a writer, you're a dancer, you're a sculptor, anything in the arts, video, you want to do, anything. You go on their site and get people to give you a monthly check every month. I said, how many people are going to do that? They're now giving out $1 million a month. Darn it, $1 million a month. Kickstarter now gives more money to the artists than the National Endowment of the Arts does. Right. I mean, things are changing so dramatically, I think, in our society. And in a way, it's becoming easier to get your ideas. And I think life is really just trying to do things in life. I mean, to contribute. What are you going to contribute? How can you? So now it's easier than ever, I think, in the world to contribute. But let me answer some questions, because I don't want to keep it too long. Yes, sir.
I have a question about safeguarding your idea.
Safeguard your idea.
Put an idea out there.
Yeah. You're worried about that. First of all, I mean, it depends on what kind of idea. I mean, all inventors like that, and the lawyer profession lives on that and makes a lot of money. It depends on what kind of idea. Go to your Business Development Center, SBDC. The librarian here will tell you where that is. They'll show you how to protect your idea without going to lawyers and all that kind of stuff. And they're wonderful people, and they're free. I mean, the business development centers are phenomenal to me. It's probably the best deal. You need marketing help, you need accounting help, you need any kind of filling out an application, any of that kind of stuff, all for free. You want to learn how to get a government contract, to help you do all that for free. Yes. Who else? Ma'am, I stopped you earlier. What was that? Oh, that's right. You were the one saying fire, and I didn't listen to you. Right? But I believe in it. I mean, I really think that it's so special in life to be able to contribute. And I think these tools now make it easy to contribute. And I think the most things that stop us from contributing in life is stuff in our own head. And how do you get rid of that bullshit? That's what I love about failure. I mean, my first 2 businesses failed. Thank God, because I got rid of all the stuff I thought I had to do to start a business. And that's when I said, hey, this time I'm going to have fun. The first 2 times I didn't have any fun. And I used to think that if I failed, I'd be walking around with a big F on my forehead and everybody would point at me. And nobody cares. We're all involved in our own life. We don't really care about you at all. And that's sort of an interesting thing that happens. And that's why I think if you have fun, then you win. You're winning every day if you have fun. Even if you don't get your $1 million, man, you're playing every day. Yes.
Who makes your suits?
Who makes my suit? This I have. This is part of the genre I had where I get a cheap suit off the rack, and then I find some seamstress to sew these on. That was a seamstress to sew these on, a lot of money. Then I went online. And also the suits, men's suits are baggy, and I like tighter clothes. So I found this place online. Actually, it was from Sweden, making tighter clothes. And I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get your suit, and I'm going to put question marks on it. Oh, we'll silk screen it, like for $50 or $100 or something. Whoa, wow. It was cost me more than the suit to have that done. So it comes in the box, and I get this box from Ho Chi Minh City. South Vietnam. And this is guys that were fighting 40 years ago. I was in the Vietnam War. Now making my suits. Yes, ma'am.
And do you think Scottsdale's like a really great place for young entrepreneurs to start whatever they're doing?
What is it? Say that again. What?
Is Scottsdale like a really good?
Scottsdale, you said?
Yes.
Scottsdale. I don't think it matters. Well, first of all, it doesn't matter because your market is on that internet.
Worldwide.
Yeah, it is all over, and it's slowly learning. Just start with something. Build a website, wherever it is, $50, $100, or you could get them for free even. There's a couple websites or the blog. What's the big blog that you could use a website? Just Blog Talk. No. What was that? Yeah, just start. Because then you have something and get feedback. And yeah, here people probably here. Yes, ma'am.
What are your top 5 crowdfunding successful programs?
5 funding successful programs. Well, I think to me there's so many things, like that arts thing. I mean, there are 1,000 different crowdfunding websites. Yeah. So when in doubt, go with the bigger ones and stay away from the real big ones, because the smaller ones will get more personal help. So it's better to learn on one of the smaller sites, But then there's others, to me, I think it's also, you can, I talked to a lady the other day, raising $2,000 to pay a dental bill. She was abused by her husband and has bad teeth now, didn't have money for that. So she's going on a website to do that. There's another one just for people who need money, like vets who need $700 to, for a utility bill or something, and they help them raise that kind of stuff. You could be a hero. I mean, I talked to these the people who go on some of these to help other people. That's what's so neat about it. Now, she was driving down the highway, accident in front of her. She stops to help this guy who lost his hand. She's holding him, as the ambulance comes and everything like that. She goes on a website, raises $75,000 to get him a new hand. So you could be a superhero. There's no reason not to do anything. You don't have to go to a government office to ask for help. You don't have to go, whatever. I mean, that's the power of this stuff. We all can, and no matter who the hell you are, you can go and do this. That's the neatest thing in life.
What does the crowdfunding site get out of it?
A percentage. Very small, like 5%. Some do none percent. Yeah. But they will take, and only if you get money. So if you're not getting any money, they're not getting any money either. So that's the way to work. You only want to work with people who have skin in the game. You don't want to hire somebody for $5,000 to do something for you. You don't know if it's going to work or not. Well, that's stupid. You're going to run out of $5,000 very fast and not be able to do anything.
What do you see is like the future of crowdfunding?
The future of crowdfunding, it just get bigger. I mean, it has to. It is get to every. Well, it's new. I mean, how fast it grows. I mean, it's already so secure. I mean, it makes everything else look pretty dumb. I mean, nothing's guaranteed. It takes work, and you got to go. But it's something you could learn, and you got to start learning this because this is the way to do it. Yes.
So you don't end up being a needle in a haystack at the crowdfunding site. Now, let's say GoFundMe, for example, and you fit into a couple different categories, so you're spread out maybe about 5-6 places. But how do you, and if you have a serious project,
Yes.
and you can add a lot of humor to that, how best do you market yourself?
I mean, I think the real answer is there's 1,000 different ways to do it. There's people out there that will charge you a lot of money and say, this is the best way to do it. And you don't know, and they don't know for sure either. And my theory is, don't give them any money, and you try what you think is the best way. Because to me, if you try somebody else, that's why I think trusting your own decisions, nobody knows it works anyway. So if you take, hey, Lesko said this, I'm going to try that, and it fails, you say, oh, Lesko's an asshole. I knew it wouldn't work, But if you say, hey, I think this is going to work, and you try it and that fails, then you're invested in it, man. You're going, hey, why didn't that work? So you're going to pull that apart and learn from that.
Because I got a lot of traffic. I got like 5,000 people, over 5,000
Yeah.
people go to the site, and they all liked it. They all signed up on Facebook. They all forwarded it, and one person donated $5.
Yeah, see.
But I got a lot of traffic.
Right, exactly.
Well,
Well, that's the problem with the internet now, is that's right. It likes. Everyone wants likes, and who cares about likes and views? If you're not giving me money, I'm not helping you. And so it's okay. Change the game plan. Is it because like information? That's why one of these other places like that. You have a course on the subject instead of just giving the information for free or whatever. Or you could do a $5. If you have something that's $5, see, that's another website that gives a lot of traffic, and you sell it for $5, and they're really getting you the traffic. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
millions of videos of him interviewing entrepreneurs that made him really big for crowdfunding.
It's all, and I have all the philosophy. I have it broken down, so if you want to be a writer. And I have business cards over there on the table. Whatever. And this is YouTube Matthew Lesko 70. I started this when I was 70. Yeah.
It's fantastic. I sat there for hours
Are they?
watching the videos.
But it's fun. I spend all, and I talk to people all over the world on Skype from my, this is my kitchen, and now I'm in my living room, or dining room back there.
I have a question.
Yes.
So as you go from country to country,
Yes.
culturally, what do you find that's different about the way people are approaching what you're saying?
Everyone is so exciting. All these people are so wonderful to talk to. I have not run into a dud. Maybe out of 1,000, I have maybe one dud, some pompous ass or something like that. Yeah, I mean, to me, that's a dud. Like a venture capital guy who thinks they're the smartest thing in the world. I have no time for all that.
But they're all out there.
And people who are doing things and doing what they want to do, and they're the most exciting people to be around, because they're doing what they want to do, fail or succeed or whatever, and they're exciting. And I get energy talking to every one of these people. I can't get over how, and I don't take any money from doing this, and I'll talk to them, and I'm really, because they believe in this, and I could believe in it too, the way they are doing it, so it doesn't all work, and you never know, and it's exciting. There's just so much to go. And see, I mean, in 30 days you could be up and down already to see if it works, And that's what's exciting, to learn for the next step. And that's why, to me, if you blow the wad on everything, that's why you do things without the money, because then you're in the game. You're only in the game until you run out of money. So that's why you keep doing things without money. And you talk to experts, they're going to tell you how to spend money, because they have something to sell you. And so you can't. They're guessing anyway. We're all guessing. Nobody knows what works. So that's why the more you try yourself, the more you're going to learn from that mistake to grow on it. Instead of throwing a lot of money at something and it won't work, and then you just get pissed. Yes.
I have a question about crowdfunding sites. I have a friend that's trying to raise some funds. They're on Give It Forward, I think it's.
Yeah, Give Forward, yeah.
Good? Is that
They're
site?
wonderful. I know the two couple.
He's been having real difficulty getting any traction.
Yeah.
To raise funds, and he's trying to get.
Give Forward. Talk to the people. They're one of those sites that really help you, and with ideas. And I like the other thing. I mean, like, to me, marketing and everything, I don't know what works anymore, and you don't know, but what you have to do is keep trying new stuff, no matter what it is. So you need somebody to help you brainstorm on something new you haven't tried anymore. You don't know what's going to work anymore, but you just, wow, who the hell knows, But yeah, Give Forward is a very one, and that's a lady who was a waitress started that bloody thing, and people coming in to wait, like from their cancer patient or something she was talking about, and they needed money or whatever, and she said, well, why isn't there a site like that? So this lady by herself and her sister started this. That's what I mean. It takes, now, she's not some high-techy PhD or, no. And it doesn't take that anymore. That's what's so exciting nowadays. No matter who the hell you are, out any degree, any education, and we're going to get, now because we're all sucked into this education stuff because you get a job or whatever. Now, God, you go on a website and learn how to code in 4 months.
Open source.
Yeah, but not only that, but coding for 4 months and get a job for $90,000 guaranteed. I got those videos of people who do this. They're companies because people need those coders, no matter what your background is. You go in an intensive course and 70, 90 grand like that. And they pay for the course because the people want it. Yeah. So, and now now with online, right now they're Arizona, right? The University of Arizona here, they have a $10,000 a year course, you get a degree. I mean, it's going to be a lot cheaper. I mean, we got more student loan debt than we have credit card debt, and this is stupid. People are ruining their lives because of credit card debt because everybody said, oh, you're going to get a great job if you get all these degrees. And, you need skills, and a customer. Anything else? Was it close to what you thought about, or what? Really? Yeah, but you were pre-sold. Yeah, I mean, there's three big ones. It's Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe are probably the three biggest kind of thing.
And I've heard that, if you tell your story, that's what people really are kind of...
Yes, it is a personal thing, but now you will hear, because like everything else, it depends on the video. I mean, I talk to people who get so much money and they just did a video with their iPhone, Other people spent 10 grand on some production company doing video. The whole thing is speaking from the heart. So when in doubt, you do that. I mean, that's what I see in my work too. I mean, I used to do home shopping. Everybody home shopping, and I'd go on there and sell. I'd go down sell 30,000 books in a day. And it was a great place. It was like live Broadway selling, not like a commercial. And you go and you know what works and what doesn't work. And all I knew, there were two things that I needed for success. One is my enthusiasm. If you don't believe in what the hell it is, why the hell should anybody else? And if the idea is worthwhile. All the other stuff that said, well, you should have testimonials, you should have this. I mean, that's tweaking and it doesn't matter. So it's really, if you don't have that heart in it, that this is important for you, then how are you going to give it some important for somebody else? You've seen that all over. I mean, how, you date somebody or whatever, if they don't give a shit about you, you feel that, right?
The last question is, can I get a picture?
Oh, yes.
And my other question is, can I put it on my face?
Anywhere you want.
All right.
Okay, I finally done it. No more reference books. It's now big data. Let's go. Now, this is a single database of millions and millions of records of people who got the money, where they got it, and how you can get it too. So you can look in your neighborhood on the maps that we have here and see who got how much money and right in the neighborhood and what they're using it for. So you could start taking advantage of it too. See, this is so great for me because back in the 70s, I got an MBA in computers and database management. And I'm now starting to use the darn thing. We're going to government agencies, pulling this data and getting it live updates right on our site so you have access to it immediately.